There was a time growing up where if I said something crazy, just like speaking nonsense regarding things that were factual, that could be researched, or maybe that I was speaking out of turn, given my lack of experience or lack of knowledge, my ignorance, dare I say, that an OG would step up and correct me. Would literally be like, nah, shawty, this dot, 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 and they correct me. Bro, for the life of me. This generation of folks, sports fans in general, may be saying the craziest shit. And realistically, maybe it's because there are a lot of OGs in the mainstream media, like legacy media, and also on YouTube that are just saying anything for clicks, views, and paychecks. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. It's time for it to stop. I had a young one slide in my comments on a video where I said, man, maybe it was time, perhaps for Draymond to be blacklisted because of his antics. And this kid, in the midst of defending Draymond, and said that Draymond Green is top 10 defense all time. The fuck? Now, not only is that factually incorrect, in this episode, I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you who is top 10. And man, I'm going to correct every single person in this generation who, just like you guys, are using a device to take a listen to what I'm saying right now. A laptop, a smartphone, a tablet of some kind. You could use the same to do some research. And so, OG here, reporting for duty. Sit your ass down. You about to get this work. Let's talk about it.
Yo, what's good, everybody? My name is Cosmic, and I want to welcome you to my channel, Opinion Stated, where I give unfiltered, opinionated sports takes. Let's go.
Yo, what's good, everybody? My name is Cosmic. I want to welcome you back to my channel, Opinion Stated. Man, I've got a phenomenal episode planned for you today. If you've already seen the thumbnail and also watched that intro, you know exactly what direction I'm headed into. Man, I'm just here to correct the young ones. I'm here to correct and to educate more than anything else. Share opinion in addition to the factoids that I'm going to drop in this episode. But mostly they're going to be based on the factual information. I sincerely, before I dive deeply into this content, man, need you to do me a huge favor. Like this video. Liking the video helps us cruise along algorithm avenue. Helps us get into the presence of individuals just like yourself who might be interested in this kind of content. Also subscribe to the channel. Doing so helps us, or rather clicking the notification bell helps you to be notified as to when my newest episodes are uploaded. Obviously subscriptions, likes, interactions, etc., man, do help the channel. Without further ado, I'm entitling today's episode Lockdown Legends, yo. Lockdown Legends. Now, how do we get here? I want to talk to you guys about the top 10 defensive players, the top 10 defenders in NBA history. I am not a fan of these top 10 lists. Top 5 this, top 10 this, who's the GOAT this, GOAT that. However, I mean, sometimes they're necessary, right? So I have this thing where I say, stats can be telling, but stats without context, can be misleading. And so I hope not to give any stats that are misleading. I'm going to attempt to, where I mention statistics, I'm just kind of trying to frame and put things into their proper context as I utilize whatever accolades or achievements may be statistical based. Now that we've gotten that clear, I'm going to get into this 4-part game plan. I'm going to talk about, number one, the origin story of how we got to this particular episode in and of itself in detail. Second on the game plan, we're gonna review 10 through 6 on the list. You know, in this top 10 through 6, we're gonna go in reverse order: 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. You got me? And then in part 3 of the game plan, we're gonna go 5 to 1. I'm gonna give an exhaustive take on why I believe that number 1 is number 1. And then the fourth part of the game plan, we're going to get into some honorable mentions, and I'm going to get the fuck out of your hair. Without further ado, let's dive right into part 1 of the game plan. Man, to Justin Jamerson. Justin Jamerson slid in my comments. And I welcome. The comments are open, man. I promise. I don't always, take opinions shared from individuals in the comments and tournaments and episodes, but I've done this a couple times. So Justin Jamerson, I want to make you famous today, my guy. So Justin slid into the comments, as you can see here on screen, and he said on the video, like I said, the one that is was a few episodes ago, it was kick him out. It's under the thumbnail: kick him out, kick Draymond ass out of the league for Draymond's bullshit. Draymond's been in the news in the last week or so, or just kicked around in the social media streets for saying that Dak Prescott is a bum. I'm a Commanders fan. Clearly, you can see. I wouldn't even call Dak Prescott a bum. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's fucking crazy. Dak may not have, achieved playoff success, but he's far from a fucking bum. Draymond just saying anything. You see what I'm talking about? But back to Justin Jamerson, who's defending Draymond, just saying anything on social media. Justin jumped in my comments and he said, "Cap, Dre brings in views. He's the villain the NBA needs." And I responded, "Cap, if you say so." Your response makes it clear that you don't like basketball. You don't like basketball. Watch wrestling for that kind of villain arc foolery. Basketball is a game of skilled competitiveness, especially on the pro level, I said. That's what actual fans of the game need: skill on display from the world's best athletes. We don't need the antics. We don't need you kicking motherfuckers in the balls. We don't need you pulling motherfuckers out the air, tackling them. We need basketball play, bro. That's why we tune into the NBA. We don't tune to see some fucking villain. Fuck Draymond and this villain baloney. It's false. It's fake. It's weird. Nobody tuning in for that. But Justin seems to think so, and apparently I'm wrong. Maybe people do. Because according to Justin said, Draymond is a top 10 defender all time. He's clearly the best of the past decade. No one else in the NBA can anchor a defense like him, and guard 1 through 5 is easy, and he can. But yeah, you don't watch basketball. I don't watch basketball. You seriously don't watch hoops if you don't see Draymond's value. Justin Jamerson. First of all, I want to say to you and everybody else in this generation, I love how y'all motherfuckers just love telling them motherfuckers they don't know hoops, you don't know ball, you don't know, just because we don't agree with your silly ass takes. I've been watching basketball longer than you've been alive, son. Fuck you talking about? What are you talking about? I watch basketball in season and out of season. I love basketball. I played basketball. Actually played. Not just at your little corner hoop spot or your little fitness place where you guys are playing ball these days. I played ball, bro. Like, miss me with the bullshit. You guys are crazy. It's weird. But to address your silly ass comment, Draymond is not top 10 all time. I'm going to prove that to you, but moving through, he's clearly the best of this decade, you said. He is not. That is false also. I'm going to prove it to you. No one else in the NBA can anchor a defense like him. Yes, they can. Yes, they have. Yes, they are. I'm going to prove it to you. And also, you say he can guard 1 through 5. This is another one of those silly ass things that I wish you guys would remove from your vocabulary. It is a dumbass TV created talking point that's not real. Just because I stand and get switched on to Kyrie and maybe have a few goods in front of him, that don't mean I can guard Kyrie the whole goddamn game. Stop saying it. It sounds stupid. I may get behind Jokic and hold my own for a play or two, but I cannot get out there and guard Jokic all game long. Draymond cannot. Stop. It's stupid. It's a dumbass. I hate it when people say this. It's stupid. It doesn't even make sense. I haven't seen a player that can guard 1 through 5. I don't know of them. Put it in the comments. You will find that you are wrong. You are wrong, bro. Why is guarding 1 through 5? Stupid. It's literally the dumbest shit I've ever heard, bro. You can guard 1 through 5. Nobody. I'm gonna list a bunch of defenders here, and none of them could guard 1 through 5. It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. But clearly, I don't watch basketball because I don't know Draymond's value. And so, guys, in this episode, I'm going to give you a comprehensive, data-driven ranking of top 10 defenders, in my opinion, in NBA history. In my opinion, I'm going to give you this information. I'm going to rank them in my order based on my opinion. If you disagree, I welcome you to share with me in the comments how I have some of these out of place, who I maybe even forgot from this list. I'm not even saying that this is like the most comprehensive list. Top 10, like I put it up against thousands of people who've played in the NBA over the years. These were just those that came to mind for me, right? So I could have left out your favorite. If I did, don't tell me. I can update the list. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm here for it as well. Defensive accolades are going to be, one of the things that this list is based on. Statistical dominance, versatility, and impact on teams' overall defense. And this is going to be a list across the eras. If you ready, then I'm ready. Let's get into part 2 of the game plan, and let's talk about the number 10 ranked player. You see it. It's Kawhi Leonard. So this, Justin, is why you're telling me that nobody can anchor a defense like Draymond anchored a defense. Kawhi's a 2-time DPOY. Kawhi won a Finals MVP because of his defense on Draymond's butt boy, Bron James. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like literally, this dude they call him a claw, hand strength, everything. Let's talk about what he's done. 2 defensive players, 2 defensive player of the year awards, as I said, 7-time All Defensive Team, 2019 Finals MVP because of his elite 2-way prowess, and his legacy. For the legacy of this dude's career, he will be known as a master of hand strength, the claw, timing, his positional discipline, consistently one of the best perimeter defenders every single year that he is in the league, even at this age. I mean, when he's playing, he's still that guy. He's still that guy. He's number 10 all time on this list. Too high? All right. Maybe. Maybe not. Moving on to number 9. Number 9, my guy. Man, Tim Duncan, the big fundamental. Tim Duncan was a beast, bro. Offensively and defensively, but mostly as we just talk about defensive players. Maybe some may feel like Tim is too low on this list at 9. Like, damn, Tim's 9. Like, who the fuck is in the top 8? 15-time all defensive team honors, the most ever. I mean, based on the fact of how the honor started to be handed out or when. But he's got the most ever. The most ever, 15. Kudos to Tim for that. 5-time NBA champion, obviously. Consistently top tier defensive rating between 96 and 101 through his prime. I mean, just an elite defender. If there ever was an elite defender, Tim Duncan can certainly be considered that. For his legacy, he will be remembered as a quiet force, efficient defensive anchor who sustained elite defenses for 2 decades. He put in work defensively. Shout out to Tim Duncan, number 9 on this list. Moving on to number 8, the big ticket, Kevin Garnett, the God himself. Shout out to KG. Accolades are in 2008, he won Defensive Player of the Year, 12-time All-Defensive Team honors, elite switch defender, communicator, and help anchor. I love nothing more than a defensive player like a teammate, I would say, like a Kevin Garnett. I was the kind of teammate also who I'm a talker. I'm letting you know. Yo, pick. You know what I mean? Switch, cut. I'm talking through the whole time. I love that about Kevin Garnett. I have always loved that about him, yo. Active. He ain't only chirping, you know what I'm saying, to tell you where you need to be or tell you what's coming. He's also chirping at the opponent, which I loved also. But man, one of the things that I loved about him was his communication. This dude communicates. Teammates need to be communicating. There's some things I can't see, yo. So to have a teammate like a Kevin Garnett is official. His legacy, for his legacy, he will be remembered for the guy who modernized the versatile defensive big role, set the tone for Boston's elite 2008 defense for sure. Man, look, there's nobody more intense as a defender. Nobody more intense as a defender than Kevin Garnett. He did not take plays off. He didn't. This dude gave it 1,000%, man, every moment that he was on the court. Shout out to Kevin Garnett. Moving on to number 7, shocker. Michael Jordan, I have at number 7 on this list. To some, this may appear kind of low. Maybe. I don't know. But his accolades, obviously, an 80-81 Defensive Player of the Year, 9-time All-Defensive First Team. Led the league in steals 3 times. Led the league in steals 3 times. Led the league in steals. Plucking motherfuckers 3 times. Let me get that shit up off. What you doing? Playing around with this. Give me that shit. 3 times. Led the league in steals 3 times, 3 separate seasons. Just want to put some emphasis on that, because that's no small thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a big fucking deal. For his legacy, he will be remembered as a defense, or rather, his defensive intensity matched his offense, dominated both ends with competitiveness and instincts. Man, I was just talking about and celebrating Kevin Garnett for his intensity. Man, this dude Jordan. It's not even highlights. You could just watch games. This dude, man, this dude's intensity was next level on both ends. The same energy he had on the offensive end, he had the same level of tenacity and intensity on the defensive end. Nasty, bro. Nasty as a basketball player. My God. Moving on to number 6, Dennis Rodman. The Worm, talking about his accolades. 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 7-time rebounding champion, 8-time All-Defensive Team honors, elite switch defender. Just a beast, yo. Just pesky, crafty, very intelligent, high IQ as a defender. Amazing defender. Dare I say, brilliant genius of a defender was Dennis Rodman. Incredible defender, bro. Incredible defender. I mean, like, as far as positioning on the, he just always understood positioning, what, where, and how to keep a player off a spot. I did watch him guard like the bigs like Shaq, give bigs like Karl Malone hell, bro. As an undersized power forward, just strong, bro, brute strength and smarts. Basketball IQ, high defensive basketball IQ, which I don't feel like is celebrated enough. For his legacy, he should be remembered as the NBA's most relentless defender. His IQ and energy transformed every team he was on. Every single team. That is not debatable. So that has been 10 through 6, man. Again, in the comments, let me know if you disagree with my 10 through 6 so far. I just want to take a moment before I tell you about, you know what I mean, top 5, man, to let it kind of sink in. So just to go back and to recap really quickly, at 10, I had Kawhi Leonard. At number 9, Tim Duncan. At number 8, Kevin Garnett. At number 7 was Michael Jordan. At number 6 was Dennis Rodman. If that could be 10 through 6, man, who's 1 through 5? Are you ready? Is you ready? Justin Jamerson. Pay attention. Draymond is not on his top 5 list. And Draymond ain't better than nobody 10 through 6 that I've mentioned so far. At least we forget why we're here in the first place. And if he is, if you think so, tell me who he's better than who I've mentioned. I'd love to hear it. I would love to hear it. I would love to hear it. Moving on to number 5. The top 5 defenders of all time read like this. At number 5, Big Ben Wallace. Sir Ben. Detroit Pistons legend. 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, tied for the most ever. 6-time All-Defensive Team honors. 5-time All-NBA honors. Anchored the 2004 champion Pistons. For his legacy, he should be remembered, man, as an undersized center who dominated through power, timing, and positioning. Just, again, man, another one of those cats that was just, it's a grown-ass man down there. Man, Ben Wallace was a grown-ass man down there. Literally. It's a grown-ass man on the inside. I don't really know what else to say. His accolades speak for themselves, yo. Big time defender, man. Big time anchor in the middle. Ben Wallace, certainly a beast. He's in my top 5. Moving on to number 4, Dikembe Mutombo. Dikembe Mount Mutombo is literally the only person on this list who I actually got a chance to see play in college. Also, man, being from DC, I got a chance to attend a whole bunch of Georgetown games, so I got a chance to see Dikembe, man, in his college heyday, and man, just he was consistent. A fucking tree as swat shots. He wasn't the strongest cat, like wide, like as far as mass was concerned, but strong and definitely fearless, taking on all comers. Didn't matter. You gonna dunk on him, but he gonna block some. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't afraid in there. I can remember John Thompson actually talking about how obviously they invite the bigs in. So Alonzo Mourning, Dikembe, these guys will come in the summer and just kind of work out. And he would talk about having to come out and put out like break up fights because these guys will be going at it so, man, I mean, just at each other's, literally at each other's throat, battling, banging to make each other better. So shout out to Dikembe, Alonzo. You know what I mean? Those guys, man, Othello Harrington and some of the others who came through over the years. Speaking of Dikembe and his accolades, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year record tying, 8-time All-Defensive Team honors, 3,289 blocks, second all-time, nearly 3,300 blocks. For his legacy, he should be known as the face of rim protection in the 90s, famous for the finger wag, and defensive intimidation. Again, man, you weren't bringing that thing into the middle when Dikembe was in there. At least you would think twice, you know what I'm saying, before doing so. And definitely earned his respect even amongst, those who towered in the post as, while he was in the league. Was certainly a beast. Rest in peace to Dikembe Mutombo also. Moving on to number 3, Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. Man, Hakeem was an incredible defender, incredible offensive player, just an incredible all-around basketball player, man. This dude was so fucking good. And I feel like he's another one of these folks who don't really get celebrated as much as he should. But in this video, at least, man, he's top 3 defensive players of all time. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. I don't give a shit. He's top 3 in my opinion, and here's why. 2 Defensive Player of the Year honors, 9-time All-Defensive First Team, 3,830 blocks, first all-time, 2,162 steals, most ever by a center. This dude leads everybody in the NBA in block shots, but leads all centers in steals. Number 3, good enough for number 3 for me. For his legacy, he should be remembered as the only player in NBA history who's top 10 in both blocks and steals. Unmatched agility for his size, literally unmatched, man. Hakeem had he was as agile, he had like the agility of I don't know, man, like a 2 guard or a small forward. Like literally, he was so agile for a big man. Great footwork, quick off the jump, quick first step, recovery speed. He was amazing, bro. You got to go back and watch. Amazing basketball player. Hakeem in my top 3. Moving right along to number 2. I got Bill Russell at number 2. Now I know. There's a lot of people's, overall number 1 for his dominance. But I got him at number 2. Now let's talk about his accolades, man. He won 11 NBA championships, obviously 5-time MVP. Before Defensive Player of the Year existed, obviously. He played in the league, 4-time defensive rebounding leader. He revolutionized team defense, rim protection, and help side rotations. His career defensive rating was super high, 95, which is among the best ever. I talked about Tim Duncan's 96 to 101 in his prime. So Bill Russell was certainly, 6'9", really 6'9", maybe 6'10". You know what I'm saying? But so undersized for a center, but a fucking tough cuss, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like literally a tough guy. And he was up against the likes of the Wilts and the other bigs in that era. And so for his legacy, he should be remembered as the blueprint for all defensive anchors. Boston's dynasty was built on his defense. It certainly was. Rest in peace also to Bill Russell. Moving on to number one. Drum roll, please. I got Wilt Chamberlain as the best defensive player in the history of the NBA. I don't care if you disagree. I'm going to share with you my opinion as to why. Listen carefully. 2-time NBA champion, 4-time MVP. Again, this was before Defensive Player of the Year existed in the era that he played in. I have up here actually 15 seasons, just 59 through 73. But he played, years before then. The Harlem Globetrotter. His list of accolades are ridiculous. I literally am going to do an episode. I know the homegirl Dawn from Sports T did an episode celebrating Wilt about a year or so ago. I'm going to do my own, bro, because Wilt deserves his flowers and he deserves his accolades celebrated in totality. Dual sport athlete, a great dual sport athlete, track and field, legendary also. That's amazing, this guy. But sticking to his basketball, 11-time defensive rebounding leader. This dude led the league in rebounding 11 times, bro. 2-time all defensive honors. And let me talk about, damn, he only made 2 all defensive teams. They weren't keeping track, or that wasn't even like an honor being handed out throughout his career until his final 2 seasons playing in the NBA. And he got it his last 2 years. So let me ask you a question. Is it conceivable that if he was given and awarded all defensive team honors his last 2 years only, that he would have gotten in every other year that he played basketball? I think the answer is yes. So if nothing else, he tied Tim Duncan for 15. Moving on. 7-time All-NBA first team honors, man. And for his legacy, he should be remembered as the record book, as the almanac, as the standard. Point blank, period. I ain't done with Wilt. I'm moving right along. I'm going to give you some education now. Wilt Chamberlain's defensive prowess was defined by his immense size, strength, and athleticism, which he used to dominate the paint as an intimidating shot blocker and the greatest rebounder in NBA history. Though his offensive numbers often overshadow his defense, late career dedication and recently compiled unofficial stats reveal a defensive impact comparable to his rival, Bill Russell. Let's talk about his shot blocking dominance. Chamberlain's shot blocking ability is legendary despite blocks not being officially recorded during the majority of his career. Unrivaled averages based on a sample of 112 games where blocks were unofficially tracked by a team statistician. Chamberlain averaged 8.8 blocks per game. This puts him far ahead of the official career average record of 3.5 for Mark Eaton. Shout out to Mark Eaton, but Wilt was swatting shit out there. Nearly 9 blocks a game, bro. It's fucking crazy. He's out there flying shit. And let's just say, all right, man, 8.8, Holmes, the statistician, maybe numbers are skewed a little. All right, cool. Knock off about 3. Knock off 4 blocks a game for skewed numbers. And he still has an average of 4 blocks a game, bro. 8, almost 9 blocks a game is fucking ridiculous. That's legendary, bro. Keeping up this education on Wilt, massive single game totals. In one game, Chamberlain was recorded with an unbelievable 26 blocks and other games saw totals of 23 and 25. Intimidation factor. His sheer presence deterred opponents from driving to the basket, a psychological impact that official stats cannot measure. As former teammate Jerry West noted, Chamberlain's protection allowed his perimeter defenders to gamble more aggressively. Let's talk about his rebound and supremacy. Chamberlain remains the NBA's all-time leader in total rebounds, 23,924, and rebounds per game at 22.9 a game, a fundamental measure of interior defense. His dominance on the boards effectively ended opponents' possessions and ignited his team's transition offense. In his prime, he regularly averaged between 24 and 27 rebounds per game. Wow. Wow, bro. Talk about cleaning some glass. Talk about controlling pace and controlling flow of the game, bro. Like, you shoot it. This man just got that. We headed the other way. You know what I'm saying? If he ain't flying it, he's snagging it. Keeping on with Wilt. While he was always a physical force, Chamberlain's approach to defense evolved significantly later in his career, particularly during his time with the Los Angeles Lakers. Shifting focus, he adopted a role more similar to Bill Russell's, prioritizing rebounding and defensive anchoring over explosive scoring. This shift was instrumental in the Lakers winning the 1972 NBA championship. Chamberlain's defensive effectiveness is evidenced by his head-to-head performance against other superstar centers. Dig this. Versus Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. During the late stage of Chamberlain's career, he significantly impacted the effectiveness of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. In 28 head-to-head games, Abdul-Jabbar shot 46.4%, substantially lower than his typical percentage of 57 during the same period. 57 against everybody else, less than 47 against Wilt. 10% less. Yeah. Blocking the skyhook, which the talking heads in the media will classically say, unstoppable Kareem had this unstoppable skyhook. It was unstoppable. Chamberlain is famously known for being one of few players capable of effectively defending and blocking Abdul-Jabbar's signature skyhook shot. Beyond the raw rebounding and shot blocking numbers, Chamberlain possessed other elite defensive traits. Physical traits, his 7'1" frame and 7'8" wingspan, and 50-inch vertical leap created a nearly impassable barrier at the rim. Durability and discipline. In a testament to his control and intelligence, Chamberlain never fouled out of an NBA game in over 1,200 contests. This joker never fouled out of a game. Swatting shit, grabbing boards like crazy, anchoring the middle, shutting motherfuckers down, blocking signature shots, never fouled out of a game. Is crazy discipline. This dude was a beast on defense. He ain't even fouling you out there. Or maybe they weren't calling it. Nah, he wasn't fouling them, bro. That's crazy. Despite playing heavy minutes against the league's top big men, never fouled out, bro. So that is why I have Wilt Chamberlain as the #1 defensive player of all time. Argue with your mom. Now, you can argue with me in the comments. It's cool. I'm open to hear, you know what I mean? Like, what you have in store. If you disagree. Again, man, the top 5 shook down like Ben Wallace at number 5. Number 4, Dikembe Mutombo. Number 3 was Hakeem Olajuwon. Number 2, Bill Russell. And number 1, Wilt Chamberlain, man. Like I said, man, I'm all in on Wilt. I think that Wilt definitely deserves more flowers for how great he was as a basketball player, for all the records, all the accolades, for things that weren't even, or accolades, honors that present athletes get celebrated for, that weren't even being accumulated or weren't being passed out, in terms of honors that he certainly deserved. Maybe there should be some kind of a retroactive You know what I mean? Like distribution of some of those honors, man, because this dude's this dude's accolades to his credit are insane. The past statistics are insane. Insane. Wilt Chamberlain. Rest in peace to Wilt Chamberlain also, man. The great, the God. Speaking of honorable mention, and moving into this fourth portion of the game plan, I'm gonna get out of your hair, man. I'm gonna give the biggest honorable mention to my guy Scottie Pippen. There shall be no Scott Pippen slander on this show, despite Scottie doing a whole bunch of bitch ass shit these days. You know what I'm saying? Like with his slander of Jordan and talking crazy, and it's really weird, man. I don't understand it, because Scottie was an incredible defender. He did a lot to help anchor the Bulls defense, as much as Jordan did, as much as Horace Grant did, as much as any of the other bigs, did. The biggest roles defensively, obviously, man, went to both Mike and Pippen. You know what I mean? Like defending the wings. They were just so tenacious on the wings that it made it difficult for great guard play. You know what I mean? Great guards in the league like Stockton, Hornacek. You know what I mean? A Clyde Drexler and like these guys, Reggie Millers and like these. They made a terror on these cats. But Scottie Pippen, 10-time all defensive team, 6 NBA championships, obviously, but he averaged 2+ steals 7 seasons in his career. He averaged over 2 steals 7 seasons. It's crazy. That's crazy, yo. His legacy should be remembered as a prototype wing defender, capable of erasing elite scores and anchoring his team's transition defense. Certainly, man. Scottie was a beast on both sides of the ball. He wasn't relied on to score as much as Jordan. I would never put Scottie on an offensive level of a Michael Jordan. I would never put him on the level of Jordan, because he doesn't belong on the offensive level of a Michael Jordan. But Scottie wasn't a bum by a long stretch. He could score. He could shoot from the outside. He could shoot from the mid-range. He could finish going to the rim. Scottie was a beast, man. He was a very good basketball player. And I do feel like people should put more respect on Scottie's name. You know what I'm saying? Scottie was no slouch by a long stretch. Moving on to additional names and honorable mention, obviously, Gary Payton. The only point guard ever to win DPOY, won in '96. Sidney Moncrief, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year as a guard. He was like the standard for guards. I will throw Draymond Green on this honorable mentions list. He is not a top 10 defender, but I will throw him on the honorable mentions list because he has a DPOY. And I'll probably say everybody who's ever won a Defensive Player honor should at least get some honorable mention. But look, man, I only got enough space on this slide. So I'm mentioning those that I want to mention. Alonzo Mourning, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. Just a fierce shot blocker, man. Again, another grown-ass man in the middle. So one going for shit. Shout out to Zoe. Bruce Bowen, 8-time all-defensive team player, man. Just all-time great perimeter stopper. Man, Bruce Bowen was a beast as a defender, bro. He he was a beast, bro. Bruce Bowen was a beast, and it could also, knock down consistently the three. Truly helped San Antonio a lot, man, with his prowess defensively and offensively. Some notables for me as defenders. Some guys who may not get their flowers enough. Raja Bell was a hell of a defender. Ruben Patterson was an incredible defender. Shout out to Ruben Patterson. Andre Karolinko was a beast, bro. As a defender, Josh Smith was a beast. Josh Hart in New York is a very good defender too. He's still playing, so I won't mention him. But Josh Smith was also a beast, man. In Atlanta, Bonzi Wells was one of my favorite defenders. I love Bonzi Wells. Used to play some D, man. Bonzi used to bone up. And certainly Ron Artest. Ron Artest would get after it. He's like the perfect blend between Draymond Green and Dennis Rodman. You know what I'm saying? Like somewhere in between there is Ron Artest living. And so yeah, man. So that's been the basis of this episode, man. That's my take on the top 10 defenders of all time. Draymond Green is not a top 10 defender, but he has been a decent defender, but he's not top 10. And so, again, man, like the video if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to the channel as well. I appreciate you guys for checking out the content. I will catch you in the next episode. Until then, take care of yourselves. Blessings.